All right, good evening. Welcome. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Ask a Digital Mentor, our new live stream here at digitalmentors.com. And it looks like, unfortunately, I am not streaming on one of the platforms, which is unfortunate. So as you are jumping on here, go ahead and let me know comments. I'd love to see your comments. I want to see that the stream is working. We've got this streaming to our Digital Mentors YouTube and our Digital Mentors Facebook page. And it was supposed to be streaming on Brian's and my Facebook accounts as well. But unfortunately, it looks like it is not on my account. I'm going to see if I can go ahead and push it there. Still at this point, it doesn't look like I can. Sorry guys, just give me 1 second because I'm just trying to get it onto my Facebook account, but unfortunately it was deleted from my Facebook account. Okay, no worries. I see a few of you there. There we go. Okay, the comments are coming into my StreamYard here so I can see you guys on board. Awesome. Well, welcome. This is our inaugural episode, our first episode of Digital Mentors Ask a Digital Mentor, streaming live every single Wednesday. And if you guys can hear me, go ahead and just comment hello again one more time, because I'm switching to my wired settings, which should give me a little bit of a better connection. Oh, don't you just love technology? Hey guys, I see Antonio, Vicky, Lewis, Dr. Lisa, Rick Gray, Brian Gibbs. Good to see you guys here. Give me one more hello, because right now it's telling me that my Wi-Fi is weak, but I just turned my Wi-Fi off and I should be wired in. Wi-Fi is off. Am I? Where's my network connection? Network connection. I am connected. Okay, so it should be good. Tell me how I'm coming through, guys. Is the connection clear? Does the video quality seem good? Because it's telling me I've got bad connection. Can you guys see me loud and clear? All right. Okay. All right. Awesome. We're just going to roll with it. So here we go. So this is the first episode of Ask a Digital Mentor, guys. We're going to be doing this every Wednesday, streaming live right here on YouTube and Facebook. You can catch all the updates at digitalmentors.com/live stream. Go ahead and sign up for notifications so that you're notified. We're going to be sharing some mini tutorials on here once in a while. We're going to be answering your questions. And we're also going to be bringing on some guests so that you've got an opportunity to ask questions of different digital mentors with different expertise as well. And so this will turn into our Digital Mentors podcast, I can imagine as well. But for now, we're just going to be streaming the videos live. So a couple of things that I wanted to do, first of all, is just let you guys know that we are running our next Revolution workshop. Let me just share my screen here real quick. The next Revolution workshop, there it is coming up on March 23rd. So right now, if you're not earning at least $10,000 in your digital mentorship business, in your digital course or coaching business, this workshop is for you. We're going to be focused on creating your first or next irresistible offer right in the one-day workshop. All right, so we're going to be clarifying some very key important elements so that you can create your irresistible offer, that offer that's going to pull in your ideal clients, attract your ideal clients, and convert to get you sales, clients, and cash flow revenue. That's what we want. All right, so we're going to be covering that. It's an intensive workshop, guys. This next Saturday, March 23rd, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And right now we are giving away some complimentary tickets to this workshop. That number is incorrect on there. There's more than 17 complimentary tickets. I think that should be saying 117 complimentary tickets, I believe. So I'll be mentioning that to Jim. But typically we're selling this workshop for $49 as part of our Revolution program. But right now we're offering complimentary access. So you want to head on over to digitalmentors.com, digitalmentors.com/workshop. Okay, digitalmentors.com/workshop. Mentors.com/workshop. There we go. I'll show you guys that banner. There's the link right there. All right. And what you're going to get access to when you register for free, when you reserve your spot, you're immediately going to get access to our pre-work. So there's a couple of tutorial videos here. We've got a 25-minute session 1, which is a deep dive into the digital mentors industry. So you understand the industry that you would be a part of. So you understand the greater economy and you understand the possibilities of what you can build inside of this industry. In session 2, we walk you through our 9-step framework. One of the big challenges that a lot of people have in this industry with this business is that they know a lot of things, but they don't know how to put it all together. They don't have a step-by-step framework or process or path to follow. And so we'll share with you in that video our 9-step framework, our process to help you go from idea to product to actually growing and scaling your business. And then session 3 work of our pre-work here is just sharing with you the 4 different business models, the different ways that you can build a digital mentorship business. All right. So as soon as you register, you're going to get access to these 3 tutorials. Make sure you complete those tutorials before you get to the workshop, because we're going to jump right into working on your offer, getting clear on that offer. Okay. So just wanted to get that out of the way. Make sure you guys know about that workshop. We would love to see you there. If you haven't been to one of these workshops yet, we'd love to see you there at this one. So I do have, I was going to share with you guys just a quick little tutorial, but what I would love is if you guys are thinking about any questions that you might have about your business, this is your chance to ask a digital mentor. This is your chance to get a question answered. So if you've got any questions on any topic when it comes to digital marketing, growing a coaching business, a digital education business, affiliate marketing business, if you're in digital marketing, if you're in the digital entrepreneur space, and maybe you got some questions, maybe you got some choices that you have to make, maybe you're just unclear about which decision or what direction you should go, you just need some feedback or input or a little bit of a sounding board, feel free to post your questions in the comments. That's where I'm going to be taking the questions, is in the comments, and I will get back to some of those questions. Okay. Yeah, if I'm breaking up on Facebook, I don't understand why, because I'm hardwired into my internet and we pay for some pretty fast internet, and somehow Shaw is still always giving me issues. Yeah, really, really annoying. And it's telling me that my connection is unstable on StreamYard, but it's weird because I'm plugged in. So I don't understand what's going on. I'm kind of wanting to almost refresh the stream and see what happens. So you know what? I'm actually going to try that. I'm going to try to refresh the stream and see what happens if it kicks into my wired one. So let's go ahead and reload the site. All right. I'm back. YouTube was looking fine, Fiona says. All right. It's still giving me 1 bar saying that my connection is unstable, which doesn't make any sense at all because I'm hardwired in. I don't understand the internet. I wish that I was more techie, but I really am not. People think I'm techie, but I'm really just a marketer. I don't actually understand tech very much. And Livestream just hates me for some reason. YouTube's still good. All right, guys. Well, maybe watch it on YouTube. Head on over to our Digital Mentors channel on YouTube. You are live, you on YouTube. Let me copy the link. Copy clean link. Still breaking up. There's the link on YouTube. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, but there's the link on YouTube. So maybe just check out YouTube, and maybe next time I'll be plugged in right from the beginning instead of switching over to plugged in. I'll get this tech stuff worked out. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. This is how we show up, though. This is the thing with the internet, is nothing is ever perfect. And I don't know if you guys can notice, but the reason that I'm wearing a hat is because I haven't had time to shower or fix my hair. I still haven't shaved today. Today was definitely a rush. There was a lot going on, and I definitely didn't have the time to do this stream. But here's what's cool when you create forced accountability in your business. And so here's the first tip for you from a digital mentor is find a way to create forced accountability in your business. And Tony Robbins talks about this all the time, right? When you set a goal or you set an intention to do something, you set a date and you commit to that date. So you make it public. You commit in some way to that promise, to that commitment that you said you were going to do. And that's what we did. This idea for Ask a Digital Mentor literally came up for me on the weekend, on Saturday. And we've been wanting to start a podcast and a live stream. And it's just been taking so much effort because we've got so many other things to focus on. And so literally on Saturday, I said, guys, I want to start this live stream. I'm going to do it Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Let's get some graphics created and let's make it public. And there we go. Forced accountability. Now I had to show up here at 4 o'clock, regardless of the fact that I didn't shave. I didn't do my hair. I wasn't totally ready for it. I literally bounced from a coaching call onto this live stream. But we're here. Why? Because I created forced accountability. I had an idea. I said we were going to do something. We made it public. We committed to it. And now I was forced to show up. So ask yourself, how can you create forced accountability in your business? What are some things that you've been wanting to create or you've been wanting to get done, but somehow other things always seem to get in the way, right? Somehow you still make time to do the things that you need to do the things that are on your calendar. And yet somehow some of these goals that we set, we allow them to not get done. And so how can you create that forced accountability, right? Think about that. How can I create forced accountability in my business to complete the thing that I know I need to complete that's going to bring money into my business, that's going to move me forward in my business, all right? Think about that. All right. So as I'm waiting for questions to come in, and I do have some questions that were submitted to me earlier. So I do have some questions that I will be going on that for you guys. But if you guys do have some questions as I'm going through this, feel free to post them in the comments, and I'll be scrolling through and trying to pull some of these questions out. Okay. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk about is something that we like to address on our workshops, digitalmentors.com/workshop, if you haven't attended one of our Revolution workshops yet. And this has to do with your value. And I just want to share this image with you guys really quickly. Actually, you know what? I think it'll be better just to share my screen. So I will do that. Let's do this. There we go. I love this quote right here. This is one of my favorite quotes. I would say, oops, no, that's not what we want to do. There we go. I would say that this quote is probably one of the single most important ideas that influenced my entrepreneurial success, especially with our first company, MLSP, and the 15 years that we ran that company for. This idea that we get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. As entrepreneurs, we get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. Jim Rohn said, we don't get paid for our hours as entrepreneurs, as creators. We don't get paid for our hours. We don't get paid for our time. We don't get paid for our effort. We don't get paid for our hard work. We get paid for the value that we bring to the marketplace. Right? So you can think about that as results. We get paid for the results that we bring to the marketplace. But when we think about this idea, we get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. If this is true, which I believe it to be true, then we have to ask ourselves the question, and we've got to be very clear with the answer for ourselves. What is the value that I bring to the marketplace? And if I asked you that question right now, and I'm asking you that question right now, so I want to hear in the comments, what is the value that you bring to the marketplace? Can you answer that question? Can you answer that question quickly, with clarity and with confidence? That's the challenge, right? Because if we get paid for the value that we bring to the marketplace, then somehow we need to be able to communicate the value that we bring to our marketplace, because that's what we're going to get paid for. That's message to market. Your ability to communicate the value that you're bringing to your ideal client. And obviously, the market is your ideal client. When you think of the word marketplace, do not think the world, because you can't serve the world. You can't serve the entire market. When you see the word marketplace here in that quote, I want you to think about your ideal client. Okay? What is the value that you bring to your ideal client that they will pay you for? And if you struggle at all to answer that question, this is where you need to take the time. Because the secret to marketing, and this is the secret to marketing, is message to market match. Matching, creating alignment, as Stacy likes to say. Creating alignment between you, your prospect, your ideal client, and the product or service that you sell. There's got to be alignment. There's got to be message to market match. There's got to be congruency. And that's why in the workshop, we spend a lot of time helping you guys identify your ideal client avatar, the persona, the personality of your ideal client. And the reason for that is because you can't help everybody. You can't serve everybody. You can't speak to everybody. You can't have a message to market match if you're trying to help everybody, especially if you're a startup. It's impossible, right? So this, as Stacy says in the comments there, this is honestly where it all begins. All of your marketing message begins here. And so if you have questions like some of the questions that I was reviewing that come into us all the time are questions like, how do I create more engagement? How do I identify my target audience? How do I create more compelling content? How do I get more people to buy my course? I will probably first ask you this question, right? Because the answer to all of those questions, how do I get better on social media? The root of that problem is typically rooted right here. Because if you can't answer that question, then there's no way you can create message to market match. Because if you can't answer that question, how's your prospect going to answer that question, right? Because this question is essentially saying, what's in it for me? What can you do? Why should I do business with you, right? Why should I do business with you? I see your website. I see your funnel. I see your sales page. I get your offer, but why should I do business with you? What's your answer for that? Because if you can't answer that question, your prospect can't answer that question. And that's why you're struggling to get engagement and sales. So what is the value that you bring to the marketplace? And as I talk about this, are there any questions that are coming up for you right now around this topic? Are there any issues or challenges that you're feeling come up as we're talking about this topic? You sharing your value with the marketplace, you communicating your value with the marketplace, right? What makes you unique? What makes you interesting? So a basic question and strategy that we need to work on is developing our personal brand online, right? Branding. You're going to hear a lot of talk about branding, creating your personal brand, right? You might think about your website. You might think about your business cards and maybe a logo and the colors you want to use for your website when you think about your branding. But that's not really what branding is all about. The core of a brand is your message to market. I've got four questions that I would ask you. It's really three questions, but I separate one of them into two questions. There's four questions that I would ask you around your personal brand. And if you want to clarify your messaging, if you want to improve your messaging, if you want to improve your engagement, if you want to attract the right clients to you, the right ideal audience to you, I want you to think about these 4 questions, because this is what your brand is really rooted in, right? The first question, who are you? Who are you? And the challenge here is to be able to answer these questions quickly, with clarity and conviction. Who are you? Who do you want to be known as, right? How are you going to show up in your marketplace? What's going to be your unique positioning? How are you going to show up? How do you want people to perceive you? What are the core values that you want to represent and portray? Because many times core values are what's going to attract other people to you. People like to do business with people who share their values. It's just normal and natural. You're attracted to companies whose values you resonate with, right? I like the brand Yeti because the brand represents values of like outdoorsiness. You know, they're cool, outdoorsy, adventure, rough, you know, last a long time, durability, right? I resonate with those values. Okay. So I'm attracted to that brand. So what values are you going to stand for? What values are you going to resonate in your message? So that's that first question. Who are you? And then the second part of this first question, who are you? And I like to separate this question is, what do you stand for? Who are you and what do you stand for? So what do you stand for? To me, what that means is core values is a part of this. The values that you stand for and you represent, okay? What do you stand for? You have beliefs. You have opinions. You have perspectives. The challenge with branding is for you to identify those beliefs and actually stand for those and communicate those beliefs, those perspectives, those opinions, those positions, and be strong in those beliefs. I just watched a video from Ryan Cody McMorris, good friend, awesome marketer, MLSP alumni. And he was talking about one of his most popular TikTok videos. And actually, you know what? This is kind of fun to do on these live streams. We can have some fun with this. I'm going to see if I can pull him up here because this is actually kind of fun. Do a little shout out for Ryan. Where is it? Yeah, this right here. Okay, check this guys out. Because this is my point. And I think he made a really good point on it. Is it this one? It's this one here. All right, you guys should be able to hear the audio on this too. Okay, so check it out. This video made us $2 million. So this is one of his most popular video ads. So check this video ad out.
There's a process to building a successful coaching business. It's a good cookie. It's a recipe. To make good cookies, it takes a recipe.
Okay.
For a coaching business. How
that ad was the most successful ads ever. And the reason why it was so successful is, one, people commented because they thought I was high, but I just work a lot and I have all these lights around me, so my eyes were bloodshot. But it increased the comments like crazy. The other people hate that I was eating a cookie and they hated all the crumbs falling over the place. So that ad got a lot of hate and created a lot of comments, which in turn created a lot of shares, which are the two things that no matter whether you're running a paid ad or an organic post, comments, watch time, and shares are metrics that are going to skyrocket any post or any video's performance. But the best part was all my ideal clients, the people that really knew and respected the beauty behind writing a video like that, they thought it was genius. It increased our calls like crazy. We ran that ad for 2 years, and that one video is responsible for more than $1 million in revenue. So the lesson that I want you to take from this is haters can be a huge catalyst to attracting your ideal client to you. And remember, no matter whether it's paid or
Okay, so my point there, and the reason that I share that with you guys is controversy, standing for something, creating something where you're going to get hate is one of the best things that you can do, right? And I'm not saying go out there and intentionally get hate, but he created this funny video of him eating a cookie, and there were literally people hating on him in the comments. One, because they thought he was high, but two, because they hated how the crumbs were going everywhere and he's chewing, eating a cookie, doing this ad. And so all these people are commenting, hating on him for that. But all of that comments and engagements is awesome for the algorithm, and it creates conversations, and it creates excitement, and it creates controversy, and it still attracts his ideal client. Because the people that see it, they're like, oh, that was a smart video. They're getting his brilliance, they're getting his genius, and his ideal clients are calling him up and being like, hey, help me with my videos. All right. So this is why it's so important to figure out, what do you stand for? And this is why it's so important to make those beliefs, ideas, opinions clear. Be controversial. Don't be afraid to stand for something. You've got to stand for something, right? Make your opinion known. So in your space, can you take a controversial opinion, or an unpopular opinion, or just a different perspective or a different opinion? Can you rattle some feathers, right? Because that's how people will know you and they'll remember you, is when you actually stand for something and you have a belief and you have values that you represent, right? Don't just try to serve everybody. So it's a really good lesson. And that really ties in when we're talking about branding. Who are you and what do you stand for? That's going to help you identify your positioning within the marketplace, right? Because in the marketplace, we want to identify our positioning and our specialty, our expertise. So within our market, where can we focus our attention and become an expert in? Ask yourself the question, what do I want to be known for in my market, in my space? Where can I develop my expertise? Where is there an opportunity for me to leverage my skills and talents, the things that I'm great at, and make it an expertise for myself? Okay, so those are the first two questions. Who are you? What do you stand for? And then the next question is, who do you serve? Who do you serve? And when we're answering this question, you want to think about the right now. Who can I serve in the market right now? Not who do I want to serve, 3 to 4, 5 years down the road. Like, I want to help everybody because everybody could use my product or service or my incredible training or my incredible guidance. Okay, that's awesome. But who's the ideal client that's ready to buy now, that you don't need to educate, that you don't need to convince, that you don't need to take through some long sales process, because they want what you sell right now. And they resonate with your values. They resonate with your opinions. They resonate with your beliefs. They're exactly who you're looking for. They're the exact person that if you get your message in front of them, they're going to be like, yes, that's for me. That's who your ideal client should be. And when you can clarify who that person is, then you can tailor your messages specifically to them. And that's how you have message to market match. Okay. Then you can answer the final and fourth question for this little branding exercise, which is, how do you serve them? How are you going to serve them? How will you serve them better than others? What does your solution look like? What does your process or framework look like, right? So for instance, there's people that need help saving for their retirement or creating secondary income streams for their retirement, right? How do you help them accomplish that goal? How can your process or framework or system be different than what's already in the marketplace, or at least somewhat unique to you? Because that problem, I want to save for retirement, or I need extra income for retirement, can be solved in dozens and dozens of different ways. What's your unique solution? So see, by identifying who we are, what we stand for, the ideal client that we serve, and the specific way that we serve them, our unique process, we now separate ourselves from the competition. We virtually eliminate competition because there's nobody else who is like you, who stands for what you stand for, who serves the client that you perfectly serve, and serves them in the way that you serve them. There's lots of coaches out there that serve digital mentors, digital educators, course creators, and coaches, right? But somehow we are identifying and finding our ideal clients simply by showing up, being present, and communicating our message in the way that we communicate it. And it's going to attract our ideal clients. And if we just keep showing up long enough, consistently enough, we're going to build a beautiful community and an amazing business. And that's how it's done. Right? So those are the 4 questions that you want to get clarity on. And this is going to help you with all of your social media, all of your content marketing, your messaging, your sales funnels, and of course, your offers. Okay. All right. Awesome. I'm just scrolling through the comments here. I can see some people are having issues with the stream, but most are okay. I don't see any questions coming in. So if you guys if you have any questions, go ahead and post them now as we're talking about these different topics. And if not, I'm going to answer some questions that I've collected over the last little while. But yeah, absolutely great inspirations. So one thing that was interesting, actually, I'll share this from Facebook as well. I saw this post today, and I thought this could be actually a pretty good learning lesson when we're taking advice, because this is one of the challenges, that there's so much advice and information online, overwhelm, right? That's the typical challenge that many digital entrepreneurs face, is overwhelm. The plethora of information right now, right? There's so much content. Everybody's a content creator. Everybody's creating content around social media or around Instagram or, marketing, digital marketing, creating courses, creating products, building your business, making money online. I mean, it's enough to drive you absolutely bonkers with the amount of information. And so it's no wonder that we get into overwhelm. And so the challenge with all of this information that we're getting is being disciplined with understanding what information is relevant to you. And sometimes this is where you might want to ask a digital mentor. This is where you might want to get guidance and input from somebody that's a little bit more experienced than you, because this is a way to get a different perspective. So I'm going to show you a specific example here from a Facebook post that another friend of mine here, Marquel, posted. And if you guys don't know Marquel, he is an amazing entrepreneur, awesome high-ticket entrepreneur, high-ticket coach, and entrepreneur. And he was around the MLSP community as well years ago. I met him at a few events. Really awesome entrepreneur. He's got an incredible story. And man, the stuff that he does in his community and for his community and for the people that his clients and stuff, really awesome entrepreneur. Really respect the guy and love what he's built for himself and his family. But he posted this question, and I thought this is a great example for what I'm talking about with like advice. So he said, I just read where a CEO coach who coaches the CEOs of Coinbase, OpenAI, Reddit, Grammarly, Postmates, and some other companies, he said, if your revenue is less than $1 million, you haven't achieved product market fit yet. Which basically kind of means message to market. And I got to say, when I read the post, and you can see my answer to this post in the comments, I honestly read it as message to market, because that's what's in my mind, is message to market. But it actually says product market fit, which makes so much more sense. Okay. So what do you guys think about this? If your revenue is less than $1 million, you haven't achieved product market fit, which is essentially message to market fit. Do you think that that's correct? Do you think that that's good advice that you should take? Do you think that that's a benchmark that you should consider for yourself? Oh man, I'm only at, $200,000 a year in revenue. Maybe I don't have the right product for my market yet. Okay. Do you think that's good advice? And see, some people would be, well, he's a CEO coach. I mean, he's coaching the CEOs of Coinbase and OpenAI and Grammarly. Like, of course, he's right. Right? Well, no, because it depends on the context. And this is where context is so important. And when context comes from experience. Context is understanding, right? So what you have to understand is he is coaching tech startup companies. He's talking to tech startup companies whose business model is based on venture capital, whose business model is based on volume, typically, in all of those companies, okay? With large markets. So in that case, yes, he's absolutely correct. But can you apply this advice to your solo entrepreneur freelancing business or your solo coach business, digital coaching business? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because you can absolutely, and this is what I said in my answer, is I said, look, you can have good message marketing fit and be at $100,000 a year in revenue and have good message to market fit, because maybe all you're doing is organic marketing and networking, social media networking. You're not doing any leverage scaled marketing to get you to a higher revenue, to get you the volume of leads, customers, and sales. But you're still attracting the ideal client. You're still bringing in the perfect clients for your business. Your marketing is still resonating and you're getting engagement and you're making sales and your conversion numbers are good. So you don't need to be at $1 million, but you do have message to market fit. Or maybe you just haven't mastered hiring and outsourcing and creating systems and automations and leverage to be able to scale your company to $1 million. But man, if you're a solo coach and you're doing $250,000, $300,000 a year, and you're attracting consistent, 2, 3, 4 clients a month, you probably have pretty good message to market fit. You just haven't scaled your business properly. You just haven't put in the automations yet. Okay. So the reason that I share this with you is because whenever you look at advice or you get advice or you read advice, you have to understand the context, because it doesn't apply to all businesses. Every single business is different. Every niche, every market, every vertical, there's different nuances. There's different variables that you've got to consider. And so this statement, although it looks like it's smart and intelligent and correct, in the context of tech startups, venture plays, it makes sense. But in the context of your affiliate marketing business or your digital coaching business that you're just starting, it doesn't make sense. It's not, you should not be basing whether or not you've got product market fit based solely on this revenue figure. Okay. It doesn't make any sense. Right? So be careful with the advice that you're seeing online, that you watched in a YouTube video, or even that you read in a book. You've got to consider the context. Is this relevant to me in my business? Is this relevant to where I'm at in my business right now? Okay, that's another thing to consider, is the timing of where you're at in your business strategy and your business growth. Okay, and this is where mentors come into play. And this is why it's important to have people that you can bounce ideas off of and you can ask questions of. And this is one of the reasons why we're doing this Ask a Digital Mentor podcast and live stream, is so that when you see advice like that, you can ask that question, right? I pick on Tony Robbins a little bit too in the workshop, because Tony Robbins is, and I'm sure lots of people say this as well, but Tony Robbins is quoted by saying this all the time. He says that famous quote, and I remember hearing this all the time when I was in network marketing, right? Just find someone who's got the success you want and just do what they did to be successful, right? You guys heard that quote, right? That's a good quote. That makes a lot of sense. Find somebody who has the success you want and just do what they did to create it. At first glance, it makes a lot of sense. But has anyone tried that? I tried it, right? So what's success? So success might be, well, I want to make $1 million. Okay, great. So I'm going to go find somebody that's made $1 million. They have the success that I have. And now I'm just going to do what they did to become successful. Okay. Well, I tried to do that for a bunch of years. And all the guys that I was trying to model were A-type driver personalities, right? They were the red type personalities. They were great salespeople. They were incredible networkers. They could walk into an elevator and come out with 5 phone numbers, right? They'd be like, they're always networking and schmoozing and deal making and, making connections. They're connectors. They're that type of people. And here I am, an introvert who sucks at all of those things. And that is absolutely not anywhere in my wheelhouse as a strength or a skill set. And I'm trying to do what they did to become successful. How successful do you think I became? Not very successful, right? Then fast forward to me starting this little membership site with a couple of buddies from the States, right? And we launched that company, and within 12 months, we make $2.2 million in revenue. What's the difference? The difference is that I was playing my game. And what we have to understand is that to create success, to create wealth, we have a game. We have our skills and strength and skill sets. And we've got to find the right game where our strengths, talents, and abilities will get us the results that we want. So a perfect example is a sports analogy, right? Take a famous basketball player, let's say LeBron, okay? LeBron James, awesome, talented guy. All right, I want to be successful in sports. I'm going to do what he did to become successful. Now, imagine LeBron, you take him out of basketball and I'm Canadian. Let's put him on the hockey rink. Okay? He's talented. He's got strengths. He's got talents. He's got abilities. But let's put LeBron, let's throw some skates on him. Let's give him a hockey stick and a mouth guard, and let's throw him on the hockey rink. How successful do you think he's going to be? Right? Completely different game. Different rules. It's a completely different game. And this is the same thing with business and success. We've got to understand that we cannot just do what somebody else did because that's what worked for them. We got to find out what's going to work for us with our strengths, talents, and abilities. Right. So I always use the example of Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett, and Richard Branson or Elon Musk. Right. Imagine telling Warren Buffett, well, hey, look at Oprah Winfrey. Look how successful she is. Why don't you just do what she did? And you see Warren Buffett starts up his own podcast, right? Or his own talk show. How successful do you think Warren would be? Do you think he'd have made the billions that he's made, doing his safe, risk-averse investing over long-term and value-based assets, right? Do you think Oprah would have been as successful if she followed Warren Buffett's advice? No, because she's a star. She's a personality, right? She's successful because she's playing her game. So you got to be you. You got to figure out, exactly, Steve, you got to figure out your game. All right. So be careful who you take advice from and be careful who you follow, because it's really important that you're playing your game. All right. Awesome. Guys, if that brought up anything for you at all, I'd love to hear any questions that you have or any comments that are coming up for you. Otherwise, I'm going to scroll down through some of these comments that came in through emails and messages beforehand. So these ones I kind of answered. Can you recommend strategies for creating more compelling content, social media content? Yeah, I mean, so that opens up a whole can of worms there. I mean, we could go on for hours about creating compelling content and do a whole workshop on content marketing, because there's so many ways to go about it, right? Number one, you got to start out with those basic 4 branding questions that I asked you. So you've got to get clear on who you are, what you stand for, who you serve, how you serve them, your message to market. Get clear on the messaging that you want to communicate. So that's the basics. That's the fundamentals. But then when it comes to like sparking engagement with your content, I'm going to share my personal story actually with this, because this is the recent thing that's going on for me, and it's doing exactly that. It's creating more engagement on my social media. So my social media has been pretty dead. I haven't really worked on my social media in years and years and years and years, because I haven't had to. I've been behind the scenes, working with MLSP beforehand, and I never needed to be on social media with that company. And so I stopped doing social media once I stopped building my own companies and my own affiliate marketing and all that kind of stuff. And once MLSP was running with our affiliates promoting and our paid advertising promoting, I didn't have to do any more social media. So I pretty much stopped all my social media and my personal branding, which obviously was a huge mistake, but just something that I didn't want to do and I wasn't focused on. So my social media has been pretty dead. So now we're building up our startup here, Digital Mentors. And so obviously we've got to get out there now as the faces of Digital Mentors It's like, okay, I got to get back on social media. I got to get into my social media game. Let's get going. How do I get going with this? And it's been the most annoying, frustrating chore for the last few months to get back on social media and start, talking about digital mentors, talking about marketing, and starting to promote, digital mentors and stuff, until I lost my vision. So about 6 weeks back, some of you know this if you've been following me on social media, I got this rare eye disease. And no, this bruise here is not the eye disease. This bruise is from acupuncture, because I'm getting needles poked in my face by this amazing TCM here in Vancouver, who I absolutely love and trust with him poking needles in my face. But that's what that's from. It's not the eye. But this eye, my right eye, is it's called NAION, NAION, non-arteritic isometric something optic neuritis, but it's not a neuritis, it's an edema, which is swelling. I'm learning all these new words in the last few weeks. But essentially what it is, it typically hits people over 50. Typically, people that have diabetes, high blood pressure, different factors like that. It's a spontaneous it's kind of like a little stroke that happens in your eye, and the vessels stop delivering blood and there's swelling in the optic nerve. And essentially what happens is your vision just clouds over. It gets cloudy, kind of like foggy, like saran wrap over your eye kind of a thing. So I can see lights and colors and shapes, but I can't read anything. I can't see details out of my right eye. And it's kind of freaky. And it can spread. In some people, it spreads to the other eye. And worst case scenario, you can actually go fully blind. So that's not cool. So that's kind of been my journey over the last few weeks. Well, my wife posted, and I have her to thank for this. My wife posted about a week into this, or 2 weeks into this, once they kind of I started going to doctors and tests and CT scans and MRIs and angiograms and all this kind of stuff. She just posted on her Facebook, kind of just asking for prayers for me. And she got huge, wild feedback on that. Like it was like hundreds of comments and hundreds of likes and stuff. And I was just absolutely blown away by the response. And then I kind of felt like, well, I need to update these people, because we can't just make this post, Norbert's losing his vision, and then nobody knows what the heck's going on with Norbert. So I was like, well, maybe I might as well, update some people. And so I went live a couple days later after a bunch of tests. And I just went live and started to share with people my personal story and my experience and what's going on, and just started updating people. And this whole experience with my eye got me back into social media, got me back just going live, hitting the live button, and talking and communicating with my following and my audience. So it really has been an amazing blessing, because it kicked me in the butt, kicked me in the eye, so to speak, and gave me the motivation, the inspiration, and the desire to get on social media and talk about something. And what's cool is, because it's a personal story, it's just a personal experience, it has nothing to do with my business and my marketing, the engagement's been through the roof. And people that I haven't talked to, that I haven't engaged with, that I haven't spoke to, that I haven't seen on social media in years, have been coming out of the woodwork and commenting and liking and private messaging me, and having conversations with people and giving me guidance and advice. And it's just been such an amazing experience to reignite the power that we have with social media, with our networks. If we just show up, if we just get out there and put ourselves out there. And so I know that we might have all of these types of stories about social media. And trust me, I have them too. I was just working with a client today, and she hates social media as much as I do. And she has all these stories that she tells herself about social media. I hate social media because it's so fake, and it's just people with their agendas, and it's just a lot of ego. And she's right about all of those things. She's totally right. But are those stories and those perspectives about social media going to serve you or hinder you? And now we've got a different strategy that we can go about with her, so that's not a big deal. But what I realized for myself is that any stories that I have about social media, I hate social media, it's so annoying, I don't like posting updates, I don't have time for it, all these types of stories, they're not serving me. And what I've realized just through sharing my personal story on social media is how powerful these networks are that we can build. I've gotten so much guidance, so much insight, so many referrals, so much great information from people just because I showed up and started sharing my story. And that's the power that we have of being connected globally to all these strangers and friends and people and contacts and colleagues through social media. But the lesson is we just got to show up. And that came up in another coaching call with another client, Candace. We were talking about, she literally said this when we were talking about her and what she needs to do. And she literally just said, I need to show up. Okay. And that right there is like 90% of your content marketing strategy is just showing up and sharing personal stories, perhaps being vulnerable, opinions, beliefs, ideas. Don't be afraid to offend. I mean, there's some, I got negative comments and like, whatever kinds of comments, you're going to get it. No matter what you post, there's always going to be somebody that's going to have some kind of troll-like negative comment to post. And the best thing to do is just ignore and not even engage with it. But I don't even bother deleting those, honestly, because it's just more engagement for the algorithm. So I'm like, hey, it's all good, man. And the more that you can share of your beliefs and your values and what you stand for, the more you're going to attract those people that really resonate with you, because you're sharing what they're thinking as well, right? So, the question was, how do you create more compelling content? Number one, show up. Number two, share. Be authentic. Share something real, right? We all have insights. We all have like thoughts and ideas like, oh, that'd be good to share. Oh, that's a good lesson, right? So look at what I just shared with you here today. These lessons, this is all stuff that I just saw today. Ryan's video that I shared with you, Markwell's post that I shared with you. This is all content that I'm delivering you today from things that literally I experienced today. And I'm using those experiences from today to create content on social media. This content, this live stream right here. Right? So this is the practice that we want to create, that we want to generate. So that as you're living life and having experiences, and you read a book and there's a passage, or you're reading from your Bible and there's a psalm or a quote that you like, share it, get it out there. If it inspires you, if it moves you, it's probably going to move other people. It's probably going to inspire other people. If it resonates with what you stand for, who you want to be known for, if it resonates with your core values, then share it. Right? Your social media shouldn't be all about business. We should be following Gary Vaynerchuk's advice: jab, 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 right hook, right? Jab, 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 right hook. That value is the compelling story. It's the authenticity. It's the vulnerability. It's the behind the scenes. It's the jokes and the quotes, and you just being a real live human being on social media. It can also be the value that you're delivering in forms of like how-to tutorials or reels where you're actually delivering information as well. And then the right hook is the calls to action, the pitch. Okay. Oh, Dr. Lisa, I love that. Document, don't create. I remember learning that from Experts Academy. I've got those binders down there. You guys remember Brendan Bouchard when he launched Experts Academy over a decade ago? One of the biggest breakthroughs I remember learning from him was when he was describing who can become an expert, who can be an expert, who can position himself as an expert. And one of those was a journalist, a reporter. That's an expert. What do you think Oprah Winfrey is? What is she an expert in? She built authority and expertise and credibility and a massive audience because she was the reporter. She was the connector. She was the journalist. She was the person bringing experts in, bringing personalities in, and simply having conversations with them and bringing them to the forefront through her personality and her star quality. That's her game, right? So you can just document. You don't necessarily need to create brand new creations. Some of us are born creators, and we're just natural at creating content and creating new things. And that's amazing. That's awesome if that's you, but you don't have to be like that. You can just document to create. I love that, Dr. Lisa. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. I love that. All right. So how can we create that compelling content? Be real. Share something personal. Share personal stories. So right now, inside of our incubator mentorship program, which is the core program for our clients inside of Digital Mentors, we're doing a 31-day social media challenge. And if you're an incubator member and you're not in that 31-day challenge, get in that 31-day challenge. And the idea with that is to get in the practice of how do I create a daily post on social media without it being a chore, right? So I think I've posted 2 or 3 times today already, and it wasn't a chore at all. So this I posted when I was in the hyperbaric chamber. I just got a thought about the fact that right now I'm taking the time for my healing. I'm taking the time for treatments. I'm literally spending about 3 hours a day on different treatments and in meditation, at least 3 hours a day. And yet, literally, if you talk to one of my spiritual coaches, he will tell you what a stubborn goat I have been for like the last 2 years. He's been trying to get me to like listen to a 15-minute audio every day. And I've been like, I don't have time, man. I don't have time. I got all these things to do. So busy. I'm doing a startup. Blah, blah, blah. I'd have all these excuses and stories for why I didn't have time. Until I got kicked in the eye. And now I got forced to make the time. And now apparently I have 3 hours a day to do treatments and meditations and take care of myself. Right? So we tell ourselves stories all the time. And I love Brian's quote on this. Brian said this one time at a workshop, and I thought it was the most genius thing ever. He said, look, you're going to bullshit to yourself anyways. You might as well bullshit to yourself stories that are going to serve you. And he's totally right. Because 90% of the crap that you tell yourself in your head that's negative and self-doubtful and whatever, 95% of that is bullshit. The thoughts in your head. Okay? And if that bullshit is not serving you, then you might as well replace it with bullshit that will serve you. Okay? So instead of saying, I don't have the time or whatever, I hate social media, why don't you just tell yourself, I love social media. Oh my God, I love social media. I love the fact that I can go out there on social media, put out a story, and I can connect with these amazing people. And that's kind of the new refound appreciation that I discovered for social media just in the last few weeks, sharing my personal story about my eye condition and what I've been going through. And I have a newfound appreciation and love for social media because of the connections and the communications and the conversations and the stories and the connection with other human beings, right? And so sometimes we got to put our business hat off to the side and just show up as a human being and forget about the metrics and the numbers and the sales, right? And all that analytical stuff, and just show up as a human being and communicate from your heart and from your soul and from your spirit, what's on your mind and what's on your spirit and what's on your soul, and not care about what anybody says, because the only people you care about are the people that resonate with your message. I'm going to say that one more time. The only people you care about are the people that resonate with your message. I don't care. There could be people that comment that disagree with my message. They tell me that I'm wrong, or they tell me that I should be doing this or this, giving me their advice that I don't agree with. I'm like, thanks for commenting and boosting my algorithm, but that's about all the energy I'm going to give it, because you're not my ideal client. You're not my tribe. You're not my people. I don't really care about you. Like, sorry, but I don't. I only care about the people that I resonate with. I only care about the people that like me and I like them. And we get along and we have a good time because we see the world the same way. And the rest of you, just keep commenting. Just keep commenting because it's good for the algorithms, but I just don't care, right? You can just take that attitude, right? And show up authentically. I challenge you to do that. Challenge you to do that. So show up, guys. And if you're part of our incubator challenge, get in the incubator channel, do a post daily and share your post in the incubator channel. We're liking and sharing each other's posts, helping to boost those algorithms and getting in that habit and practice of creating a daily social media post. And if you're not inside of our incubator, you can do that yourself as well. Just start a challenge for yourself. Maybe find a running buddy to do it with. Make it simple, keep it simple, but get it done and get consistent. All right. Awesome, guys. Well, I think I'm going to cut this stream off right here. We're at about 60 minutes, about the top of the hour. So really want to say thank you and appreciate all of you that joined in for the live session with your comments and encouragement. I hope you got some value and information out of this. We're going to be streaming live every single Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's Thursday, 10 a.m. Sydney time if you're on the other side of the world, down under. We'll be streaming live on Facebook. Again, it's digitalmentors.com/livestream. And if you haven't been to our workshop, guys, digitalmentors.com/workshop. We've still got complimentary tickets available. It's a one-day workshop happening on the 23rd of March. And we're going to be showing you how to create your first or next irresistible offer and how to enroll clients into your business with that irresistible offer, get that message to market match. So show up for that workshop if you haven't been there yet. We would love to take you through our framework and our process and show you how it's done. So with that being said, that brings to a close our first inaugural session of Ask a Digital Mentor live stream here every Wednesday. We will see you guys next week. Take care. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It'll help to boost the algorithm and get more people to see it next week, and we'll grow from here. Take care, everybody. Have a great evening.